Most people trying to improve their lives are wasting time on the wrong things. And I do not mean that to be harsh or discouraging. I mean it because I spent years grinding through habits that felt productive but barely moved the needle on my goals. I was busy, but I wasn't growing. Most of us are stuck in this loop. I mean it because I spent years grinding through habits that felt productive but barely moved the needle. We are taking 14 minutes today because surface level advice is why most people fail. You don't need another 60-second tip, you need a system. We are going deep into the psychology of habit formation and the neurological reasons why some good habits are actually holding you back from your true potential. So today we are doing something different. We are ranking self-improvement habits from the absolute worst to the absolute best. Tier 5 is the performance trap. These habits feel like progress because they are difficult and uncomfortable, but they are often just a form of virtue signaling to ourselves. We do them so we can feel superior, not because they actually improve our output or our well-being in a meaningful way. Number 1 on the worst list is the obsessive morning routine. 5 a.m. wake-ups, cold plunges, meditation, journaling, all before 7. The problem isn't the meditation or the exercise, it's the friction. Stacking 15 new habits at once creates a massive cognitive load. Your brain spends more energy trying to manage the routine and check the boxes than it does actually performing the task. This leads to massive decision fatigue before your workday even begins. Most people hit a wall within 14 days. They miss one morning, feel like a total failure, and quit everything. This isn't a lack of discipline, it's a lack of design. Right above that is toxic positivity through affirmations alone. Telling yourself, I am a confident leader in the mirror while you're avoiding hard conversations is just noise. It feels awkward for a reason. Your brain has a built-in bullshit detector. When your words don't match your actions, it creates internal stress. This creates cognitive dissonance. Your brain knows you're lying, so it creates a stress response instead of confidence. Affirmations only work when they appear with actual evidence-based behavior change. You have to give your brain proof that the affirmation is true through small, consistent actions in the real world. Then there's the self-help trap. This is when you spend hours consuming content without applying a single thing. You binge watch motivation videos, buy every personal development book, and listen to podcast after podcast. You feel like you're working on yourself, but you're actually just a passive consumer of growth. Information without implementation is just entertainment dressed up as improvement. The dopamine hit you get from learning something new feels identical to the hit you get from doing it. This is exactly why it's so dangerous. You get the reward without the work, which keeps you stuck on the mountain of information. If you find yourself saying, I just need to watch one more video before I start, you're trapped. We have to break that cycle by prioritizing deeds over dopamine hits. True self-improvement is about 10% learning and 90% doing. If that ratio is flipped, you're not improving, you're just entertaining yourself with the idea of growth. Moving up to tier 4, the overrated habits. These are fine and they have some value, but they are often used as tools for productive procrastination. They allow you to stay in your comfort zone while still feeling like you're working. Let's look at why waking up early is on this list. Waking up 30 minutes earlier is tier 4. Why? Because most people use that extra time to scroll through their phone in the dark, check emails they can't answer yet. You haven't improved your life, you've just moved your distractions to an earlier hour. Time is just a container. It's the intention that matters. The habit itself is neutral. It only becomes tier 1 if you use it for something intentional. Most people lack the plan for that extra time, so it's wasted. Decluttering also falls here. Yes, a clean desk feels great and reduces visual stress, but if you spend your whole Saturday reorganizing a bookshelf instead of finishing your project, it's a failure of leverage. You're tidying the deck chairs on a ship that isn't even moving yet. Cleaning is busy work. It's a way to feel in control when the rest of your life feels chaotic. While it has its place, it's a low-leverage activity. If you're using decluttering as a prerequisite for real work, you're just procrastinating. Use a clean space as a reward for finishing a hard task, not as a requirement to start one. Reading 10 pages a day is tier 4 as well. If it's passive reading where you're just scanning words while your mind wanders, it barely sticks. You're just checking a box on a productivity checklist. You can read 50 books a year this way and have zero change in your life or your mindset by December. To make reading valuable, you have to pair it with immediate application. Read one page and try one thing. That's how a book actually changes your life, not by racing through the pages to finish the chapter, but by extracting the wisdom and testing it in the real world. One applied insight is worth more than 100 passive chapters. Tier 3 is the foundation. These are the basics. They don't make you a superhero, but without them, the whole system collapses. This is where most people should start their journey. If you don't have these in place, trying to do high-level biohacking or mindset work is a waste of time. Basic hydration and nutrition are the bedrock. If your biology is suffering, your psychology will follow. You cannot optimize a brain that is chronically dehydrated or fueled by ultra-processed junk. It sounds simple, but 80% of people are underperforming simply because they're not meeting their basic biological needs. Next is 20 minutes of light movement, a brisk walk outside. This isn't about getting a six-pack, it's about clearing the mental fog and resetting your nervous system. Movement is a signal to your brain that you are active and engaged. It flushes out cortisol and boosts your mood almost instantly. This simple movement increases blood flow to the brain and provides a much-needed natural break from digital screens. It's one of the easiest, most reliable ways to improve your cognitive function for the rest of the afternoon. If you're stuck on a problem, stop thinking and start walking. Do it daily. Setting digital boundaries like phone-free meals is a foundational Tier 3 habit. This is how you start to retrain your fractured attention span. It teaches your brain that it doesn't need a hit of constant novelty every 5 seconds. You're practicing the skill of being present with yourself and others. This is essential focus training. If you can't sit through a 20-minute meal without checking your notifications, you will never be able to sit through 2 hours of deep work. Start with small, device-free windows throughout your day. Reclaim your ability to focus on one thing at a time. It starts at the dinner table. And finally, in Tier 3, a simple gratitude practice. Spend 2 minutes writing 3 specific things you're grateful for. This isn't woo-woo pseudoscience. It's about reorienting your reticular activating system, the filter of your brain, to look for opportunities instead of just threats and problems. When you look for the good, you find it. When you scan for problems, that's all you'll ever see. This practice changes the neural pathways in your brain, shifting your baseline mood from reactive to proactive. It changes the very filter through which you view every interaction and every obstacle in your life. Now we hit Tier 2, high leverage. These habits provide a massive return on investment. If you do these consistently, you're already in the top 5% of all performers. These are the multipliers. Let's talk about the most underrated habit in the world, the nightly plan. It's simple, but almost nobody does it. Planning your day the night before is life-changing. It removes the startup cost and decision fatigue from your morning. You don't wake up wondering what to do. You wake up with your momentum already loaded and your primary targets identified. You hit the ground running while everyone else is still waking up. Don't waste the first 2 hours of your day deciding what to do. Your brain is at its sharpest and most creative in the morning. Use that time to execute, not to plan. Momentum beats motivation every single time. A plan created at night is a contract with your future self to succeed the next day. Protecting your sleep is Tier 2 for a reason. No screen time 30 minutes before bed isn't just a wellness tip, it's a performance requirement. Your sleep quality directly determines your willpower, your emotional regulation, and your cognitive function the next day. If you're tired, you've already lost the day. Willpower is a finite biological resource. If you're running on 6 hours of poor quality sleep, your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for logic and self-control, is compromised. You'll make worse decisions, crave worse food, and skip your most important tasks. Sleep is the fuel for your willpower. Weekly reflection. Spend 20 minutes every Sunday reviewing your week. What went right, what went wrong, what was the one thing that held you back. Without this, you're just repeating the same mistakes over and over, hoping for a different result. That is the definition of insanity. Reflection is the antidote. Reflection turns raw, chaotic experience into actual wisdom. It allows you to identify recurring patterns and adjust your strategy before you waste another month on a system that isn't working. It's the ultimate high leverage habit because it fixes all the other habits. It's the debugging process for your entire life. Deep work blocks. 90 minutes of focused, distraction-free work on your most important task. Most people spend their entire lives in shallow work, emails, Slack, and meetings. 90 minutes of true depth can produce more value than a week of shallow, busy work. This is how you produce world-class results. Finally, Tier 1, the keystone habit. This is the single domino that knocks over all the others. This is the holy grail of self-improvement. It's different for everyone, but once you find yours, everything else becomes 10 times easier. It's the one habit that makes you feel like the person you want to be. The keystone habit creates a cascade of positive choices. For many, it's exercise. Once you work out, you naturally want to eat better, you sleep deeper, and you feel more confident in every social interaction. You don't have to try to eat well. The keystone habit makes you want to eat well. It's the engine of change. For others, it's journaling. Writing brings a level of clarity that bleeds into every decision you make throughout the day. It helps you process complex emotions, clear mental clutter, and stay perfectly aligned with your long-term goals. If your mind feels like a mess, journaling is the one habit that clears the static. And then there's meditation. It builds a muscle of detachment. You stop reacting to every random thought or stressful emotion, and you start responding with intention. It's the ultimate focus habit because it teaches you how to bring your attention back to center. It is the core of mental resilience. find your keystone. But here is the hard truth that most gurus won't tell you. The ranking of these habits doesn't matter nearly as much as your relationship with consistency. The best habit on this list done halfway beats the perfect habit that was never even started. You don't need a complex 10-step system. You need one thing done daily. Consistency is the guide here. It's the multiplier for every other habit. One simple thing, done daily until it becomes automatic, is more powerful than a 10-step routine you can only maintain for a week. Real change happens quietly, slowly, and then suddenly all at once. It's built on the boring foundation of showing up. So here's your challenge for today. Identify just one habit from this ranking that you've been avoiding or performing wrong and commit to it properly for the next 30 days. No excuses, no shortcuts, just 30 days of showing up for yourself. This is how you transform your identity and your life one day at a time. Drop your choice in the comments below. Let this community see your commitment. Sharing it makes it real. It holds you accountable. We want to see what you're working on and support you in that journey. Your commitment starts with that first comment. Let's build some momentum together right now. If this deep dive shifted your thinking or gave you a new perspective on self-improvement, share it with someone who needs to hear it. They will thank you later for the clarity. I'll see you in the next deep dive. Remember, focus on the high leverage actions and stay consistent. Your future self is counting on you. Goodbye for now.